What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. Hope you're doing well. I hope you've enjoyed the post. Really getting a lather, getting people excited for the college basketball season. I know I am. You're watching Bardo's Breakdown. If you want to join the page, because I got all this Big Ten goodness, you're not going to get it anywhere else. Not the networks, nowhere else, but right here on Bardo's Breakdown. I wanted to go over something that, is important for us as basketball analysts. And this is our Bible for college basketball. It's called the Blue Ribbon College Basketball Yearbook. And a lot of times this is very helpful for us in the sports casting field that are in Power 5 conferences, because a number of non-conference games are against non-Power 5 opponents. And so the Blue Ribbon College Basketball Yearbook does a really good job of breaking down all 354 Division I men's basketball programs. And so if you may be Illinois or Michigan or Rutgers may be playing a school in a smaller conference that you don't know about, you can reference this college basketball yearbook and find some pertinent information to get your research started. And, at least started, and at least you have a higher sense, an overview of the program that will allow you to ask certain questions to get deeper into your research. So the Blue Ribbon College Basketball Yearbook is our Bible, especially early in the conference in the season. And one of the things I've really wanted to do with this lead up this year to college basketball is that college basketball really suffers from eyeballs during football season. I get it. Football is the most popular sport. No knock there. Totally understand. I got nothing against football. I love football. I do. I love watching it. I don't particularly care for CTE. I don't like some of the other things that happen around the league, but the pure sport of it, I love football. Football dominates the sports scene. So when college basketball comes on the radar in November, a lot of people, unless you're diehard college basketball fans, aren't following the sport. Here's what I want you to consider. You won't see a sport outside of men's college basketball that has greater growth through a season. I'm sure college football, I'm sure NFL teams get better as the year goes on, but you will not see a level of transformation that is similar to what you see in college basketball. From the start in November till March, teams have metamorphoses that are outstanding. Sometimes it's incredible. And so that's why I'm trying to get my diehard fans and even people who are on the fringe, I want you to pay attention to the college basketball season when it starts, because I think college basketball has started to understand, yes, there need to be opponents outside the Power 5 conferences in non-conference play, but you need to have some exciting Power 5 matchups that maybe not in conference, but outside of conference. For example, the best tournament this season, the best 4-team tournament without question, is the Las Vegas Invitational that Illinois is involved in. So it's Illinois versus UCLA and Virginia versus Baylor. Ladies and gentlemen, Baylor is picked. If they're not picked to win I think they're picked to win the Big 12 and a Final Four contender. Virginia's picked to win the ACC Final Four contender. UCLA is picked to win the Pac-12. Yes, and they're a Final Four contender. I don't know that Illinois is thought of as a Final Four contender. They may have the least amount of expectation going into that tournament, but that's an incredible tournament. And there are tournaments like that throughout November. Then you have the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Then you have the Big East SEC Challenge, which is outstanding. So why I'm doing this is to get things rolling and get fans thinking about college basketball, not after the Super Bowl is over, not after the college football bowls are over, but when the season starts in November, because I don't want you to miss out on this action. So there's 4 teams. There's 4 All-American teams with the Blue Ribbon Yearbook. Okay, 4 teams of 5 players each. So it's like 20 players. Did I get that right? Yes, 20 players that can make the All-American first, second, third, or fourth. Now, the Big Ten is well represented. Trace Jackson Davis of Indiana, he's first team All-American, and I believe he is preseason Big Ten Player of the Year. Second team, Hunter Dickinson of Michigan. I love Hunter Dickinson. I know a lot of fan bases around the Big Ten. They don't like the big fella. Big fella's got swag. He can hoop. He's got swag, and he's a comfortable big. A lot of times, guys, you've heard me say this if you're a part of Bardo's breakdown. Big men sometimes don't come into their own until they're well into their 20s in terms of being comfortable with their size, being comfortable with the way that people approach them, and just, expressing themselves. Hunter has never had a problem with this. That's one of the reasons why I love Big Fella. I love Hunter Dickinson. Also, now this was a surprise. Not that he's not deserving, but I did not understand that Zach Edey is starting to get the national coverage that we have seen in the Big Ten. One of the most efficient players in college basketball last year. If you recall, Matt Painter does probably the best job I've seen of playing tandem bigs and understanding the time requirements and getting guys to buy into that. So he had Travion Williams, who is a pro, who's gone on now, will be on somebody's NBA roster. He had Travion and Zach Edey splitting time. That's very hard to do in today's college basketball environment. And yet Zach Edey was one of the most efficient guys, really playing half the game. I think he'll get I'm not sure. I'm hoping to see Purdue practice this week. I'm not sure if Zach's minutes will increase. I hope they do, because Big Fella is uber skilled. I'd love to see him, if he could get 25 to 30 minutes a game, what his numbers would look like. I believe, because Purdue is dedicated to getting the ball in the post, one of the best teams in the country at getting the ball in the post. I think Zach Edey's numbers could rival that of any player, not just big. Oscar Tshiebwe of Kentucky, Drew Timme of Gonzaga. I think his numbers can compare to the likes of some of the best in the country. Also, a little bit of surprise, 4-team All-American, Terrance Shannon Jr. of Illinois. Now, I watched Illinois practice yesterday, and I was really surprised. I've seen Terrance on TV when he was playing at Texas Tech. I didn't realize he was that well put together. He is physically an imposing player, very quick, very athletic, is going to be a key cog to what the Illini are doing this year. And I like the fact that he's getting his love and his due with the 14 All-American selection by the Blue Ribbon College Basketball Yearbook. So the Blue Ribbon also puts out a top 25. And these are the Big Ten teams that are in that top 25. So obviously Indiana, well, I'll get to that in a second. Indiana's number 12, preseason top 25. Michigan is 18. Illinois checks in at 22. And Michigan State comes in at number 24. And it's interesting, guys, because to me, there is talent among players who are transferring in and freshmen. Like Indiana's got some outstanding freshmen. Hood Schifino, I'm really looking forward to seeing him. Ohio State's got they've got 5 top 100 freshmen. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them. Illinois has got some dynamic freshmen. Ty Rodgers, ladies and gentlemen, watch that name. Ty Rodgers is a player. Watch that name, Illinois freshman. But Michigan State, to me, has, I believe, the best returning talent. If you look at Joey Hauser, Malik Hall, AJ Hoggard, what's my guard's name? I just looked it up. Tyson Walker. Yeah, my bad, Tyson. But Michigan State's got, I think, the best returning talent in the Big Ten, and they're rated number 24 preseason. So to me, that tells you the effect of ratings for high school players, top 25, top 50 high school players, how much cachet they get coming in to college basketball. But the fact that Joey Hauser has been there for a while and struggled a little bit, maybe hasn't reached his potential. I expect him to do so. The aforementioned Tyson Walker, AJ Hogarth have had really productive games for Michigan State in the past. Malik Hall, same thing. So Michigan State's got a lot of good returning players. And so the Big Ten forecast that the Blue Ribbon has is Indiana 1, Michigan 2, Illinois 3, Michigan State 4, Purdue 5, Ohio State 6, and Iowa 7. I'm only going to do the top 7 here because it's just a quick preview. I just want to give you guys, I'm trying to whet your appetite, get you excited, have you being much more knowledgeable at the water cooler when you're talking Big Ten basketball than some other folks that aren't tuned into Bardo's Breakdown. And if you feel sorry for them, guys, go ahead and tell them about Bardo's Breakdown, man. They can join the inner circle by texting me 312-847-2739, or they can go to Bardo's Breakdown page and they can join the page. Or if they want to get a little bit deeper, because I give some real behind the scenes stuff to Bardo's Breakdown group. These are on Facebook. So you can go to Bardo's Breakdown page, or you can go to Bardo's Breakdown group on Facebook. It gets even deeper. All right. So if you feel sorry for your friends and you don't want to look bad, go ahead and share the love for them. So the Big Ten forecast, once again, for the Blue Ribbon College Basketball Yearbook: Indiana 1, Michigan 2, Illinois 3, Michigan State 4, Purdue 5, Ohio State 6, and Iowa 7. I'm going to get to you guys. I'm going to bang out my stuff, and I'm going to get to you guys' questions really quickly. First question I have, can the Hoosiers find consistency? They were a very talented team. They peaked at the right time. They got to the NCAA tournament, had a fairly good showing, but they were baffling all season long, very inconsistent. I think Mike Woodson has turned it around. And I think people see the fact that the way that they were able to recruit, Indiana had one of the best recruiting classes in the Big Ten, the way that he was able to get guys that were recruited by the former regime to buy into what Mike Woodson was saying and got them into the NCAA tournament, and the fact that Indiana's a blue blood. I know some of the other Big Ten programs don't want to hear that, but when Indiana's good, it elevates the rest of the conference. There are certain programs in the Big Ten conference that when they're really good, they elevate the conference. Indiana may be the top one, and that's only my opinion, but it's opinion based on 30 plus years in the Big Ten. So can the Hoosiers find consistency this season with you know what? I said Michigan State's got the best returning core. Indiana's got the best returning core. Michigan State's got a good returning core. Indiana has the best returning core in the Big Ten Conference. And I'm looking to see if they can find some consistency now that this will be the second year under Mike Woodson. Number 2, can Kobe Buffkin take the next step for Michigan? I think this young man has an unbelievable upside. And I think that when Kobe can get comfortable, he is as athletic and as skilled as any guard that Michigan currently has. And if you guys remember now, he's a McDonald's All-American. So Kobe can go get it. And he showed flashes last year. Now, here's the thing. I was really disappointed that Frankie Collins left. I thought the world of that young man. Athletic. He came in at different times. I believe it was against Tennessee where he had a really good game. I'm sorry. He played very well against Colorado State, but he chose to transfer. So Kobe Buffkin, along with Jalen Llewellyn, are going to have to really hold it down in the backcourt for Michigan. But I think the young man is up for the task. I really liked what I saw last year, and I think that he's coming in. He and Jet Howard, Juwan Howard's youngest son, will really have an opportunity to hold it down at the 2-guard position for Michigan. My third question, the Illini point guard position. They're really going to have to rely a lot on freshmen. Skyy Clark and Jayden Epps are up forward now. Don't get it twisted. Skyy Clark is a point guard that I believe originally had a commitment to Kentucky. So he's one of the best point guards in the country before he got injured in high school. So he's still knocking off the rust. Jayden Epps can score it, y'all. I was very impressed with what I saw in him in practice. He's a guy who can get downhill. He's a Norfolk Tidewater kid, so he's got some of that DMV Baltimore Tidewater toughness. Can score. Like I said, can get downhill. So, but when you have a freshman point guard starting like yours truly 30-something years ago back with Illinois, that's a tall task. So it's going to be some of this in November, December that you're going to see with the Illini. Number 4, can Joey Hauser live up to his potential? If you guys remember when Joey Hauser transferred from Marquette, remember he and his brother Sam Howard left Marquette at the same time. Sam went to Virginia, and now I believe Sam is playing with the Boston Celtics. Joey left for Michigan State, and he has not found his way. He's had glimpses of it, but Joey Hauser was the newcomer of the year in the Big Ten Conference when he transferred in, and he just hasn't found his way. I know COVID hurt him a lot. That COVID year really threw him a little bit from an emotional situation, but he's a great young man. I know his family. And I think, and I'm hopeful for the young man first and foremost that he feels good about himself and that he can realize his potential. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I want for all these players. I'm a player's advocate. I love the players that play in the Big Ten Conference, and I want to see them all do well and all reach their potential and all develop into positive young men that can leave their mark on society. And Joey Hauser is one of those young men that I want to see reach his potential. And lastly, you heard it first. I've done this twice the last 2 years. I've called some people look like, what? Johnny Davis is a pro when he's a freshman. Yours truly said that. Then I said Keegan Murray has a chance to be the Big Ten MVP before last season. And Keegan Murray was balling. Number 4 pick in the draft, I believe, to Sacramento Kings. So this is the next one. Brandon Newman's going to be the breakout star in the Big Ten this season. Brandon Newman had a very good freshman year at Purdue. Then here comes Jayden Ivey. And you can't deny Jayden Ivey. He was a meteorite coming through Purdue. Number 3 pick in the draft. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So Brandon had to take a back seat. But I think he humbled himself. I think he saw the work ethic that needs to be put in to get to an elite level. And I don't think there's not a lot of pressure on him this season. So he can kind of come in, be that starting 2 guard, and really be aggressive. I think he's going to be the breakout star this season in the Big Ten. So watch for Brandon Newman from Purdue. And I'm hoping to get over to see them practice sometime this week as well. Really looking forward to seeing Purdue and how they'll remake themselves without Travion Williams and Jayden Ivey. All right. Thanks for being patient. Let me get to my people because I know my people showed up. What's up, Aaron Janowski? Good to see you, brother. Taurus Hayes. What's going on, Taurus? Good to see you. Thomas Dagley. What's good, Thomas? No, we don't want to say the hell with football. We love football too, Thomas. We just love basketball a little bit more. Andrew Eisfeld, perception if win is great, if lose, early, long road. Okay. All right, Andrew, I appreciate you tuning in. Kevin Brooks, good to see you as well, my man. Anastasia Walker, one of the tribe members, one of the original Bardo's Breakdown tribe members. In addition to massive change and improvement in college basketball, you can also bear witness to some of the best unpredictable upsets in all sports. Don't sleep. What Anastasia Walker said. That's why she's a tribe member. That's not why she's a tribe member. We're very fortunate to have Anastasia Walker as a tribe member. Let me rephrase that and be straight up and correct with what I'm saying, because she brings a ton to the platform. She really, really does. Abdul Malik. What's up, Abdul Malik? My man. I like Zach for sure. Big Zach Edey. I think a lot of us do. Kevin Brooks. What about Miles Colvin, freshman at Purdue University? I look forward to seeing Miles, Kevin, and where he's going to fit in. And here's the thing at Purdue. Matt Painter and his staff, Brandon Brantley and crew, they do an outstanding job of getting players to buy into what Purdue is all about. So you see Trey Kaufman redshirted last year. Now, he had some injuries in the preseason that helped make that decision, but Trey Kaufman was Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana along with Caleb First. So Caleb played and did a good job last year. Trey Kaufman redshirted. I think Trey Kaufman was a top 50, top 100 player, something like that. And so, Kevin, I don't want you to think that if Miles Colvin doesn't play immediately, he's not starting, that he's not having a successful time at Purdue. But Purdue, there are some college basketball programs that are microwaves. Purdue's an old-fashioned oven. And y'all know the difference. You heat something up in a microwave, it's warm, but it might mess up the consistency of the food. But baby, when you put it in that oven with 375 for 25 minutes, ain't nothing better. That's Purdue University basketball. So don't get caught up if Miles Colvin doesn't come in and is the immediate impact that you're looking to find. All right, let's see here. What's up, King Tao? Good to see you. Thanks for joining, man. I appreciate your support. TJ will be an All-American if he stays healthy. TJ, Trace Jackson Davis. I think that's what you mean, Andrew. Yeah, I don't see any other way for him but up. He plays hard. He's as athletic and as fast as anybody in the country. And I think that the fact that Mike Woodson has had him now for over a year, and, you know, it's really important, ladies and gentlemen, that coaches, and I saw this with Brad Underwood yesterday at Illinois with his players. I see it with Juwan Howard. I see it with Greg Gard. I see it with Steve Peichel. I see it with all his coaches, Ben Johnson at Minnesota. There has to be a relationship between these coaches and these players that has to supersede the court. It has to go beyond the court. Because if you only have a relationship with your coach and it's just on the court, you spend too much time together, ladies and gentlemen, to not develop a personal relationship with your head coach. And so the fact that Mike Woodson, who a good friend of mine that I'm just going to say it, who is the head of scouting for the New York Knicks, raves about Mike Woodson's ability to coach. Other coaches rave about his X's and O's and his ability to connect with players. And I think that Trace Jackson Davis and Coach Mike Woodson, they needed to come to Jesus meeting and understand each other. And I think that you'll see Trace Jackson Davis be even more dominant this season as a result. Sean Carter, Illinois better than 22. Everyone going to see. Steve, Illinois has Jayden Epps. No, Sean, I appreciate that. Look, I saw Jayden Epps yesterday in practice. Jayden Epps can play. He can score. He's one of those East Coast old school guards, ladies and gentlemen, that's crafty. He gets a shoulder on you. And he made a move yesterday. He in and out on the right wing, got to the bucket, got bumped and threw it off the glass at a crazy angle, and it went through. He's an unorthodox guard. So I'm not sleeping, Sean. I'm not. And I think Michigan State, I do think that they're better. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, don't get caught up in these preseason prognostications because people are drawing at straws. There's no concrete science to this. It's people try to take as much information as they can with the incoming freshmen, with the transfers, with the returning players, with what the team did last season. How many guys do they have back in the rotation? And they just make a educated guess. So thank you, Sean, for pointing all this out. You're welcome, Malik Abdul Malik. Again, man, you guys are hardcore basketball fans. And what I'm hoping to do is not only get you guys excited, but maybe some of your friends that you all know really like college basketball, but may have a toe in, toe out. Get them excited. Tell them about Bardo's Breakdown. Tell them to come to the page and look at all the different people that we've posted and whatnot, so that they can get excited as much as we are. Only if TJD has learned to use his right hand. Thomas Dagley, you make a good point. Now, he is left hand dominant. I'm hoping that he can figure out that he's worked on his right hand as well, because he's got the best first step of any big in college basketball. I know Oscar Tshiebwe is very athletic. There's no big as good as Trace Jackson Davis with his first step. It's explosive. And if he can do a little bit going right, if he can put it on the deck once going right and maybe pick it up and set up a teammate on a pass or a play, he doesn't even have to go right to score. Just go right to keep the defense off balance. That's all you need, in my opinion. But see, that's why you got to be a member of the tribe, because we have informed people like Thomas Dagley. Terrance Shannon Jr., yes, Andrew. Oh, you're talking about okay. You're talking about Terrance. Terrance is going to be a problem, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to give away too much right now. I think Big Ten fans would be excited to watch this young man play. Played at Texas Tech, so he plays hard. And he's a Chicago kid. He was an all-state wide receiver in football. The kid is put together, and he plays hard, goes at it, works his tail off. So, yes, if he stays healthy and Illinois can really – if Illinois does what they've done in the last 3 seasons under Brad Underwood, they're going to be in contention. Brad Underwood is as good as any coach in the Big Ten or in the country of taking his team from the beginning of the season and getting them to peak at the right time. He did it at Stephen F. Austin. He did it at Oklahoma State. He's done it the last 3 seasons here, bringing Big Ten championships to Illinois. And if Terrance Shannon continues to buy into what coach is doing, and Illinois can gel and get these new pieces and these freshmen to gel, they'll be in good shape. And Terrance Shannon can definitely be an All-American. What's up, Bo Singer? Good to see you. Stephen Alexander, good to see you. Me and you both. Bo Singer, will we win the Big Ten in 22-23? Who is we, Bo? I think I know. I'm giving you a hard time. I think I know you're talking about. I don't know, Bo. I don't know if it's healthy to put that kind of pressure on a team that lost 86% of their scoring. Now, they're going to be good. Illinois is going to be good because they got a lot of talent. But you got to bring that talent together. And the thing that I like, let me see if I can pull up Illinois' schedule really quickly. Let's see. You know what? I can do this with you guys. I can bring you guys in on this. Let me pull the schedule up before I bring you in, so we're looking at it together. This boy, if you're trying to do live shots, live shows like this, and you don't have StreamYard, you need to get it, because this is why I like it so much. So let me go over here. All right. So as we look at the Illini schedule, Bo, they need tests. You got to have tests in order to figure out what you're going to really be looking like when it comes Big Ten conference time, Big Ten tournament time, and NCAA tournament time. So these exhibitions against Quincy, Eastern Illinois at home, Kansas City at home, Monmouth at home, then this one. UCLA is a Final Four. It's a popular Final Four pick, Pac-12 favorite. Baylor and Virginia are both favorites of their conferences, Big 12 and ACC respectively. Then you've got Lindenwood. Then you've got Syracuse. Syracuse is always a tough game because of the unique style with their zone defense and the way that Jim Boeheim plays. They've got great length, and they give you problems. So that's an interesting matchup. Then you jump right into the Big Ten with Maryland, which to me, the Terrapins may be the biggest unknown. Jameer Young is a transfer guard from Charlotte, can fill it up, ladies and gentlemen. I think Javon Blair from Georgetown transferred into Maryland as well. He's a bucket getter. And Kevin Willard's teams play really good defense, really hard. If you remember his Seton Hall teams, that's going to be an interesting matchup. So then you look at this. You go UCLA, you go the winner or loser, Baylor, Virginia. Then you go Syracuse, Maryland, Texas in the Jimmy V Classic. Then another Big Ten opponent, Penn State, Alabama A&M, then the bragging rights game, Missouri, Bethune-Cookman. Then you go into the Big Ten Conference slate. So the reason I wanted to share my screen with you and to talk about that, Bo, is because when you look at can they win the Big Ten title with that collection, that's a tall task to ask for players that RJ Melendez, Luke Goody are about the only the guys that you're really counting on for Illinois. RJ Melendez and Luke Goody are really the only two guys that have had any time in the Big Ten Conference play. So, it's going to be a tall order, but we'll see. How much will Illinois miss Kofi? Not at all. Not at all. They got the talent. They're going to play differently. So if you're still going to be post dominant, they would miss Kofi. But they're not going to be post dominant. They're not trying to feed the post like they have in the past. They're going to adjust to their talent. So I think you guys like what you see. Haven Mosley, all my best coaches were coaches. I had relationships off the court. Thank you, Haven. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for your support. Always appreciate it. How much will Kofi miss Illinois? That's a better question, Aaron, because I don't think that Kofi will find a situation that was tailor-made to his strengths and skill sets like Illinois did. Chris Lowry is an assistant coach at Northwestern. How? Bo, I mean, why wouldn't Chris Lowry be an assistant at Northwestern? He's been an assistant at Kansas State. He's been a head coach at SIU. I believe he was an assistant at Illinois. Why would he not be an assistant at Northwestern? I don't understand your question. I think that how many games does Northwestern win? Coach Lowry is up there as an assistant. I don't understand that. He's as capable of a coach as anybody in college basketball. I think Chris Lowry deserves a head coaching job again. And for Northwestern to get him as an assistant, I think it's a big get. He is the secret. I think Andrew's still talking about Terrance Shannon. Now, see, Billy Hillbring, I didn't bring up Coleman-Hawkins for a reason. Coleman-Hawkins will more than likely, Terrance Shannon's getting the love, but Coleman-Hawkins will probably be the most important player for Illinois this season. There's not a player on their roster that can do more than him. He's as versatile as any player in college basketball. And I think that how he progresses, how he does, will be in direct relation to how Illinois does throughout the season. But great call there, Billy Hillbring. Good to see you, brother. No, you don't have to be worried, Bo. This is a safe space, and you're part of the tribe, so we can discuss, we can have conversation. This is a safe space. Don't be sorry for anything. It's all good. Who will win the Big Ten? If I have to say, guys, the Big Ten is a conference that thrives on veteran play, but the last 3 seasons have seen some outstanding sophomores. Keegan Murray, Johnny Davis, and Jaden Ivey, Malachi Branham, freshman, Bryce McGowan, freshman from Nebraska. We've seen some young studs come in and have quite an impact, but the Big Ten is still a league where your veterans can really pull you through. And right now, if I had to look on paper without seeing everybody practice in person, if I had to look on paper, I'd have to say Indiana. just because they've got guys that have been through it, and they've got some freshmen who can go. So I would, if I had to pick somebody right now, I'd have to say Indiana. Most valuable player on Illinois this year will be Coleman-Hawkins. Now, if he's not, and it's Terrance Shannon or it's Matt Meyer, then so be it. Because Terrance Shannon and Matt Meyer is an NCAA champion with Baylor. Terrance Shannon's from Texas Tech. They played in what I think is the best conference in the country year in, year out for the last decade, which is the Big 12. They've been in the Big 12 wars. So I think the most valuable player would be Coleman-Hawkins because of his skill set and the number of ways he can affect the game. But it could be Terrance Shannon or Matt Meyer. It could be Ty Rodgers. Hell, that's how versatile this Illinois team is. A lot of unknowns, but tremendous versatility. How many games will Northwestern win? It's hard to say, Bo, because I gotta do a little bit more digging deep. They lost Kobe Simmons, the transfer, which I thought Simmons was I like that young man and what he brought to the table from an athleticism standpoint. They lost Ryan Young to Duke. They lost Pete Nance to North Carolina. So they're really revamping their roster. I know Boo Booey's back. I know Chase Audige is back. But I want to see what they do on the interior to make up for the loss of those veteran bigs. I didn't realize Chester Frazier was added to Underwood's staff last year. How did I miss that? Good move. Chester Frazier, ladies and gentlemen, he is a really, really good coach. If I had to talk about Big Ten assistants who are the next up, Brandon Brantley from Purdue is definitely worthy of an opportunity. I think Chester Frazier is right there. I think Sadie Washington at Michigan is due for an opportunity as a head coach. Those three jump out at me right now. There's several others that I can pull in, and that might be another live show that I do. Which assistant coaches are next up in the Big Ten Conference, which deserve an opportunity at a crack at a head coaching position? I think what's my man's name? Jack Owens, who is an assistant now at Ohio State. He just left a head coaching position with Miami of Ohio. So there's several Big Ten assistants that will have an opportunity to move up. Those are some that just come to mind. Thanks for the update on Epps. I know he can score. Hope he learned how to run the team. I don't know enough about the other young point guard. Yes, Sean, he looked good. And the staff is high on Jayden Epps. And so, like a lot of freshmen, he's got, like you said, he's got to learn how to run the team. He's got to learn how to fit his scoring into what the coaching staff wants. But he's right there. RJ Melendez, Aaron Janowski. I'm not trying to, you notice I haven't mentioned him or Coleman-Hawkins a lot because I don't want to put a lot of pressure on these guys. But RJ Melendez is a guy who's really going to step up as well. Let's see. What type of impact do you expect from Skyy Clark? Skyy Clark's going to be, I think he's going to be the guy to run the show. I think he's going to have a big impact. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, he's a 5-star point guard before he got hurt in high school. So he was going to Kentucky. So that lets you know what a lot of people around the country think is Skyy Clark. And he's knocking the rust off right now. I love the young man. And Brad Underwood said he's one of the best young men he's ever coached. And he just got it. But Brad Underwood raves about the player, but he raves about the young man and his intangibles. And some of the people that Brad Underwood has said that about Trent Frazier, who will go down as one of the best players in Illinois history. He said the same thing about Trent Frazier. So I expect big things out of Skyy Clark, as do the Illinois staff. Do you see Coleman-Hawkins leaving early for the NBA? James, are the Illini contender for the Big Ten championship? Yes, they are, James. I think at the end of the season, and I'm gonna say this right now. Now I haven't seen everybody in person. I've done some research. I haven't seen everybody in person, but I think that at the end of in February, all things being even, and hopefully no serious injuries to key players for any Big Ten program. So let's make the assumption that let's get these guys into February healthy. Illinois will have as much upside as anybody in the conference come February. So they do have a chance to win the Big Ten championship. Coleman-Hawkins could leave early because he's got the NBA skill set. He's 6'10", he can do everything. There's nothing Coleman-Hawkins can't do on the floor. He might run some point guard for the Illini this year. He might. He's that skilled. He might play the 5 for the Illini. He's that skilled. So think about that for a second. You got a 6'10" guy that can initiate your offense, can guard the opposing team's big in the post, and do everything else in between. So Coleman can play the point. He can be the off guard. He can be the small forward. He can be your power forward. He can be your center. He can put it on the deck. He made a move in practice yesterday that was so subtle, but there was an NBA scout sitting next to me that he and I looked at each other and was like, wow. Coleman caught the ball full speed on the wing. And let me see if I can explain this the right way. He caught the ball on the wing and he put it on the deck. It was so quick, ladies and gentlemen. He caught it, put it on the deck, and the defense came at him in an unorthodox way. I think it surprised him. And instinctively, this is 6'10" now, he catches, puts it on deck, and then boom, crossover dribble to avoid the defense and made a pass to an open shooter. 6'10", a lot of 6'10" guys, if 6'10" guys can make that play, they're playing at the next level. So could he leave early? Yes. And if he does leave early, hopefully he's maximized his potential at Illinois. Billy, I thought the Illini should have added a bigs coach to their staff because the past couple of years with Kofi and Georgie, Kofi never learned how to pass out of the post, double and triple teams. Well, here's the thing, Billy. Here's what I want you to consider. Hunter Dickinson, Zach Edey, Kofi Coburn, Trayce Jackson-Davis. All those guys, if they're able to play at the next level, there's not – who do you know plays with their back to the basket in NBA? Joel Embiid. Who else? Giannis doesn't. Giannis faces. Kevin Durant doesn't. He faces. Kevin Durant's a guard. Giannis is a small forward that can play power forward and center, but they face up. Jokic of Denver can't post up, but can also a point center. But he doesn't live in the post. The NBA doesn't play like that anymore. So the need to teach Kofi or Georgie how to pass out of double, triple teams out of the post. I mean, Kofi was pretty good from the free throw line, especially last season. So you got 7'2", 290 in the post. If you get fouled, you wear out the opposing team's front line. So I think, Billy, you're thinking of the way the games used to be played. They're not played like that anymore. Now, the Big Ten is a throwback. You're going to see Cliff Omoruyi, however you pronounce his last name, because he's changed it. I don't know what he's calling himself now. But he can go back to the basket a little bit, but he's even better face up and on the move. Zach Edey, back to the basket. Hunter Dickinson, Michigan, back to the basket. And now I'm reaching. Trayce Jackson-Davis can be back to the basket, but you're going to see him face up more this season. Rabracha at Iowa, I'm not even sure if he's back, but my point is this, Billy, that the game, the game has changed. So I don't know that they really needed to do that. Mizzou is tight. All right. Kyle deserves a Division I coaching position. He's done a fantastic job at Johnny Logan. He's made that one of the best community colleges in the country. Nobody's doing back to the basket, but that's the game Kofi had at Illinois. Okay. Let's see you, bro. You make me excited about Illini this year, especially Hawkins. Can't wait to see what he does. What do you think about his motor? His motor will be there, Sean. He's a smart kid, and he's got a lot of people in his ear about what he needs to be doing. Hopefully he can, put the blinders on and just focus on being the best that he can for his team, because I think the Illinois program has shown, especially under Brad Underwood, and there are a lot of programs like that in the Big Ten. Iowa under Fran McCaffrey. Wisconsin under Greg Gard. Obviously, Matt Painter at Purdue. Ohio State and Chris Holtmann. Outstanding job. Izzo is, you don't have to say anything. These guys, if players buy into the program and work their role to the best of their ability, they will get a look at the next level. And if Coleman-Hawkins' motor can be consistent and he can buy into what the coaches want him to do because he's so skilled, I think the motor will take care of itself. Hey, Steven, I hope you're having a great day. How does our freshman stack up against other class Big Ten? Nathan, the freshman in Illinois is as good as the freshman. Now, the collective is great. Now, if you went player by player, Hood Schifino may be the highest rated freshman in the Big Ten this year, maybe at Indiana. Jett Howard is top 50 at Michigan. But the collection of freshmen that Illinois has is as good as anybody in the Big Ten Conference. Does Zach Edey have stamina to play more minutes? Great question, Thomas. I think he does. And here's the beauty that these college coaches are what they do. Matt Painter knew that Travion Williams was going to leave. And he had a decent idea that, Trey Kaufman coming off a redshirt year, Caleb First had an outstanding freshman season. So there's a complementary of bigs. But I think what Matt Painter probably said to Zach Edey in the offseason, big fella, we need 5 or 10 more minutes out of you per game. Get to a conditioning level where we can do that effectively. And I think you'll start to see that. But I'll know more, hopefully, later on this week. Where do you think Illinois basketball is compared to what it was back in the mid to late 80s? John, I think Illinois' program is right. I think they're as good as they've been. Period. They won the regular season Big Ten championship. They tied Wisconsin for the regular season title last season. The previous season, they won the Big Ten Conference tournament. I mean, they're winning Big Ten championships consistently. So the Illinois program is as good as it's ever been. If you recall, Bill Self had I think he had 1 or 2 Big Ten championships in there. I want to say Kruger had 1 or 2, but Brad Underwood has been as successful in his start at Illinois right now as any coach, including Lou Henson. So that goes back 40, almost 50 years. Illinois is as good as they've been. So he's doing a fantastic job. Double A Mays, do you think realistically Michigan State will be in top 5 Big? Yeah, I do. Because here's why. Double A Mays, they got veterans who've been through the wars. And I think they're going to go with a 2-guard attack with Tyson Walker and AJ Hogarth to start. I don't know why more teams don't go with a 2-point guard attack, because it's hell to guard that. Because when you can swing the ball and you got 2 guys that can bust you off the dribble, that's hard to defend. And Michigan State has enough depth or they can bring in a Jayden Aiken off the bench. Aikens off the bench, who's 6'3", 6'4". I think he's outstanding. Athletic. I think he's going to make a big jump. He's going to be one of these guys like Brandon Newman who are going to surprise people in the Big Ten this year. Jayden Aikens from Michigan State. Watch him. Follow-up question. How did the players compare? They're different. It's just a different era. And it's kind of hard to compare. Just been super impressed by his development. Yeah. I think he steps into the role of a leader now that super seniors are. Leader is hard. I'm going to tell you somebody for Illinois who I was surprised that showed really good leadership skills yesterday, RJ Melendez. Seriously. He's got some good leadership qualities. I saw him do it like 3 different times yesterday. I was impressed with that. Nathan, that's a good question. I don't know what the talent base looks like at Peoria right now. You know, for a while there, man, they were pumping out talent, NBA level talent for a minute. I don't know what. I haven't really paid much attention to that region. Maybe I need to do a little bit more research where that's concerned. So I think I got through all you guys' questions. Thank you so much for tuning in. I was going to make this short, but you guys give me life on this platform. So thank you so much. Please, if you want to join the inner circle of Bardo's Breakdown, hit me up, 312-847-2739. Let me take this off here. Where is Brandon? Let me take that off. You can join the tribe right there, or you can go to Bardo's Breakdown page for more goodness like this. Hope you guys got a lot out of this as much as I did. Thank you for watching Bardo's Breakdown. Make sure you check back every day, guys, because we have something every day to whet your appetite and get you more informed about this upcoming Big Ten season and college basketball season. All right. Until next time, guys, have a great rest of your week. Love you all. Take care. Peace, y'all.